So now that we've learned the surface area of a pyramid, we're going to learn how to find the volume of a pyramid. So the formula for volume of a pyramid is V equals 1/3 base area times height. Okay, now there's a couple things we need to talk about first. So BA is the area of the base. So the area of a base So the area of a base of a pyramid is gonna be the area of this square. So to find the area of a square, we take length times width, which for a square we know would just be side squared because they have equal length and width, times the height. So that's our final formula for volume. Now, when we talk about the height, we're not talking about this height of this triangle right here. We're talking about the height that if you drew in would come perpendicular from this point up here to the center of the base. So the height is the altitude drawn perpendicular to the center of a base. So sometimes we're going to have to use our Pythagorean theorem to solve for this length. Because if you look at it, this height with this height of this triangle and this little line right here forms a right triangle, with this being the height, this being 1/2 of the length, and then this being just the height of the triangle, which, just so we don't get confused, we're just going to call this A. So sometimes we're going to have to use that to give us our H, but you have to make sure you are taking the line drawn perpendicular to the center of the base. So now that we know how to find volume, we're going to do some examples where we have to find volume. So volume is equal to 1/3 length times width times h. Now, since we're multiplying these and multiplication is commutative, it doesn't matter what order we multiply in as long as we multiply the right stuff. So volume is equal to 1/3, and since we know that the bottom of this is a square, it'll be 8 times 8, or 8 squared, times our height, which is this line right here, which just so happens to be 3. So V equals 1/3. 8 times 8 is 64 times 3. Now, we're going to multiply these all together. So if you look, the 3 is going to cancel to the 1/3, because when we multiply fractions, remember, we multiply across. So this 3 is like a 3/1. And if we multiply across, we'd get 3/3, which is just 1. So our volume is equal to 64, and we're in centimeters, so centimeters cubed. Remember, volume is always written in cubic units. So now we're going to do one more example. So volume is equal to 1/3 length times width h. So volume is equal to 1/3, 4 times 4, h. And right here, that's a 7. So volume is equal to 1/3 times 4 squared is 16 times 7. Now, I don't know that off at the top of my head, so I'm going to plug that into a calculator real fast. And if you do that, you will get 37.333 repeating. And then pretend they gave us inches. This would be inches cubed. Now that's all we're gonna do with volume of a pyramid. But make sure you come back and watch the next video, which is gonna be our final video in this series for Intro to Geometry. And then after that, we're gonna go into geometry with which takes the things we learned in these videos and makes us do something a little bit harder with them. So make sure you come back to check that out.